Thank you, Mr. Chair. Secretary Hegseth, yesterday Admiral Kilby testified before the committee about the importance of fielding DDG Flight III ships. The anti-air ballistic missile radar capabilities are chief among the reasons why. I'm sure you know you could ask just about any of the U.S. flagged merchant vessels that have been attacked by the Houthis or the Americans who were protected by destroyers when Iran attacked Israel with its large-scale missile attack, why these ships are so important. So we don't have a complete budget request from your department yet, but the word on the street is that it's going to request 0 new destroyers. Of course, destroyers are well known as the backbone of any modern Navy fleet, and China is closing the gap between us and them, having doubled its destroyer fleet in the last 20 years. I'm also now hearing that the President plans to eliminate the frigate program outright. Yesterday, Senator Collins asked you about the absence of anything referencing destroyers in your FY26 spreadsheets that were delivered to Congress. You didn't really answer the question. Instead, you referenced a historic shipbuilding investment that is forthcoming. So just focusing on destroyers, there's really nothing historic about the 2 destroyers in the reconciliation bill. Just last year, Congress funded 3 new destroyers. We did 2 in FY24. We did 3 in FY23. So from my perspective, the reconciliation bill sets you up for an easy opportunity to increase the size of America's destroyer fleet. So I want to give you an opportunity to tell us what this committee could expect in the FY26 request pertaining to destroyers. I know you've been talking a lot about trade-offs, and in the short term, I would agree that maybe there's no immediate negative trade-offs there or negative effects of not requesting any destroyers, but in the midterm and long term, I think surely any gap in production of destroyers may come back to bite us. So I wanted to hear what your thinking is here.
Welcome back to the Constitution Corner, where freedom-loving Americans stand up for the Constitution, defend American sovereignty, and speak truth where the mainstream media won't. If you're new here, hit that like button and subscribe to stay informed on the threats to our national defense, our Constitution, and our values. Share this video with every proud patriot you know. We need all hands on deck right now.
Appreciate the question, sir. We are procuring destroyers, and I would contrast the previous administration's budget, last budget, effectively, which procured 5 ships. This one includes 19.
I'm talking about destroyers only here.
There's a plus-up of destroyers. We are reviewing the frigate program for reasons I think this committee is well aware of. Another one of those difficult decisions that we think we're in a place where we have to make them. Again, another program that was supposed to be off the shelf and reflecting something based on an existing design that was gold-plated time and time again and pushed backwards. So that is one of the things we are reviewing. But we call it historic because it's multiples of what we had before. Not all destroyers, because you've got a lot of back-end capabilities you need to invest in to be effective in the maritime space. But it does make a historic investment.
You said plus up. When you say that, are you referencing the 2 destroyers in the reconciliation bill?
Yes, sir.
And so that would be a plus up on top of forthcoming requests for more destroyers in the FY26 budget request.
I would have to, Bren, how would you break that down?
Yes, sir. So our budget, as the Secretary said, is 1 budget, 2 bills. So the 2 destroyers he's referencing are the 2 in the reconciliation bill. Okay.
So again, does that mean that you will request additional destroyers as part of the FY26 NDAA and appropriations process, yes or no?
When we built the budget, sir, the 4-month review that the Secretary referenced, we found a requirement for 2 destroyers in FY26, so the budget only requests 2 across both bills.
Yeah, absolutely. The Navy's been planning to get 2 destroyers in FY26 and FY27. However, I think this committee, the Senate, appropriators as well have been pretty clear that the destroyers in reconciliation were to supplement that anticipated request of 4 ships in 2 years, not supplant it. So, I suppose if that's all you're asking for, it'll be up to members of this committee in the Congress whether or not we want to exercise what we think is the right call here, which would be to grow the size of our destroyer fleet, not slow down its growth. So with that, you can take the 40 seconds if you have any other comments, or I'll yield it back.
Gentleman yields back. Chair now recognizes the gentleman from Texas, Mr.
Now, Patriots, let me walk you through something that ought to be front page news in every paper and top billing on every nightly broadcast. But it's not. Because what we're seeing here is the slow disarmament of the United States Navy under this administration. Yesterday, during a Senate hearing, Secretary Hegseth and his team got grilled, rightfully so, about the complete and utter failure to request a single new destroyer in the upcoming FY26 budget. Let me repeat that, 0 new destroyers. Let me tell you why that's a massive, unacceptable threat to our national security. Now I want to thank the senator, whoever they were, for holding the line and pushing the secretary for answers. Because what we saw was bureaucratic tap dancing, budget speak, and political nonsense from the secretary and his deputy. A lot of smoke, very little fire. We heard them refer to a historic shipbuilding investment. But when pressed, what did that actually mean? Just 2 destroyers. Not 2 new ones in addition to the budget, but just 2 in total, across 2 bills. That's a cut, folks. That's not a plus up. That's not growth. That's shrinkage. Let's talk about what destroyers do. These are the backbone of our Navy. DDG Flight III ships are missile defense platforms. Our first line of defense against Chinese, Iranian, or North Korean missile strikes. Just ask the American commercial vessels in the Red Sea who've been attacked by the Houthis. Just ask Israel, who faced a massive Iranian missile strike and were protected by U.S. destroyers. You start cutting destroyers, you're doing China's job for them. But it gets worse. Now we're hearing that the frigate program is being eliminated entirely. This administration is not just stalling, they are actively dismantling the tools we need to protect freedom around the globe. Meanwhile, China's doubled their destroyer fleet in 20 years. And what are we doing? Cutting our production. Delaying procurement. Backing off the commitments that have protected this country since World War II. This isn't budgeting. This is suicidal appeasement. The Biden administration is bending the knee to woke priorities, funding DI nonsense at the Pentagon, while letting our naval superiority erode like a ship rotting in dry dock. The money isn't gone. It's being redirected to social engineering, not national defense. It's no coincidence. This is exactly what the progressive globalists want. A weaker America. A humbled America. A country that can't project strength. That's how you get World War III, folks, by inviting aggression. And let me be clear, this isn't about blind militarism. This is about deterrence. About preserving peace through strength. We've known that since Ronald Reagan. You want peace? Prepare for war. So what can we do? First, we demand answers. We share this video. We hold our representatives accountable. Call your congressmen. Call your senators. Ask them why we are gutting our destroyer program while China flexes its muscles and Iran threatens our allies. Second, we vote them out. Any member of Congress who rubber stamps this suicidal defense budget needs to be primaried out of office. Third, we stay informed. That's why you need to subscribe to the Constitution Corner. Because the mainstream media won't tell you any of this. They're too busy promoting gender studies in the military while our destroyer fleet vanishes. This is our Navy. This is our country. This is our fight. So stand up, speak out, and keep your powder dry. We are the Constitution Corner, where Americans' route guides its future. Until next time, stand strong, speak truth, and may God bless the United States of America.